If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Liverpool warned as Morgan Gibbs-White issues Nottingham Forest message. Morgan Gibbs-White admits Nottingham Forest endured a difficult time, but the team's dominant 3-0 Europa League win over Fenerbahce has boosted confidence ahead of facing Liverpool. Morgan Gibbs-White has acknowledged that Nottingham Forest's commanding 3-0 triumph over Fenerbahce could serve as an ideal confidence boost following a difficult time. That's exactly what Arne Slot and Liverpool do not want to hear, with the Reds facing Forest at the City Ground on Sunday. That will be Vitor Pereira's first Premier League game in charge of the Nottingham club following his appointment. Forest made the ideal start to Pereira's reign on Thursday, comprehensively defeating the Turkish team at the Chobani Stadyumu in the opening leg of the Europa League playoff. Goals from Murillo, Igor Jesus and Gibbs-White put Forest firmly in control of the English outfit's bid to reach the last 16 of the competition, ahead of next week's second leg at the City Ground. Forest was outstanding throughout, making light work of the challenge of performing under a fourth manager this season. His message to us is that we will have a real identity to how we play and defend as a team, Gibbs-White said of Pereira, with Liverpool fans listening. We have all bought into what he wants straight away. It is about keep learning off each other and take it game by game. We needed a clean sheet, and we needed a win, and today felt like the perfect moment. Our fans were top tonight, they were incredible. An all-round incredible day. Pereira had precious little time to prepare his players ahead of the match in Istanbul, having been named as Sean Dyche's successor on Sunday. He inherits a side that has also been managed by Nuno Espirito Santo and Ange Postecoglou during the current campaign. I felt we had a real identity out there, Gibbs-White told TNT Sports, via the BBC. We defended well and we created so many chances. You want to enjoy every moment as a player. I said yesterday it can be difficult as a footballer to enjoy moments because of how quick the games come up. We can enjoy it tonight and then prepare for Liverpool at the weekend. We have been going through a difficult time, confidence is the main thing and tonight will boost confidence. We just have to stay together and be the most complete team. Liverpool tipped to produce something special in Champions League. Despite the issues that have derailed Liverpool's Premier League title hopes in Europe this season, the performances have been less volatile under boss Arne Slot. Former Liverpool midfielder Bolo Zenden believes the Reds can win the Champions League this season despite the issues that have dogged the team's campaign. Arne Slot's side currently sits sixth in the Premier League table and has won just 2 of its last 8 league matches. Given the disappointing nature of Liverpool's title defense, speculation continues to surround Slot's position. However, winning the biggest prize in European soccer would certainly go some way to easing those concerns, and the Liverpool head coach will be encouraged by the performances in the competition so far this season. Slot's fellow Dutchman believes the Reds are capable of going all the way in the Champions League. If you look at the teams that are still in the competition, because there are a few obviously out, I think Bayern Munich and Arsenal are looking really solid, he told the Redman TV in a recent interview. We've seen Arsenal, obviously, also in the Premier League doing really well, but then again, the favourites don't always win this tournament, and Liverpool on their day, or on the night, can always produce something special. So why not? But it's not going to be an easy road, and it also depends, obviously, on the draw that comes along. We've seen last year that, for example, Paris Saint-Germain just qualified on matchday 8 and in the end they won the competition by 5-0 in the final. So no one would have expected this. So yeah, of course, anything is possible. Liverpool's league struggles have not always been replicated in the Champions League this term. Although it lost to Galatasaray, the team it could face in the last 16, and PSV Eindhoven, the Reds won 6 of 8 matches in the league phase and finished third in the table. Liverpool has also shown it can go toe-to-toe with Europe's elite, as home wins over Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid highlight, plus impressive victories at Eintracht Frankfurt, Inter Milan and Marseille. Should the 6-time European champions go deep in the competition, it would certainly not be the first time a disappointing domestic campaign has been overshadowed by Champions League success. That was the case in 2005, when Rafael Benitez's side finished 5th in the Premier League but memorably beat AC Milan in the Istanbul final. The Reds will discover which last 16 opponents it will face next week. Galatasaray leads Juventus 5-2 after the first leg of the playoffs, while Atletico and Club Brugge drew 3-3. Liverpool will be paired against one of the 2 playoff winners in next Friday's draw. Liverpool news as Arne Slot issues defense and Jurgen Klopp vindicated. Liverpool faces Nottingham Forest on Sunday as the Reds chase Champions League qualification, while Arne Slot defends former set-piece coach Aaron Briggs and Philippe Coutinho exits another club. Liverpool is aiming for a hat-trick of victories when it faces Nottingham Forest this Sunday. The Reds have struggled with inconsistency this season, and head coach Arne Slot is aware that they can't afford many more slip-ups in the battle for Champions League places. Despite a disappointing run of form at the close of 2025, Liverpool has only suffered 2 Premier League defeats this calendar year. Bournemouth triumphed over the Reds in late January, while Manchester City handed Slot's players a rare home loss earlier this month. The club's recent improvement may be linked to the exit of set-piece coach Aaron Briggs, with the Reds appearing more robust from dead ball situations since his departure. However, Slot has dismissed any criticism of his former colleague. In other news, former Reds manager Jurgen Klopp seems to have been vindicated after a past Liverpool star made an early exit from his childhood club. Here's the latest from Anfield. Ex-Liverpool midfielder Philippe Coutinho has secured another departure, this time from Vasco da Gama. The Brazilian famously received warnings that he'd come to rue leaving Liverpool when he pushed for a transfer to Barcelona during the 2017-18 campaign. Coutinho has now informed Vasco da Gama, where he began his youth career, of his intention to end his contract. Brazilian media outlets have reported that the announcement caught Vasco off guard, with the club having already begun talks with the 33-year-old regarding fresh terms. His current agreement was due to expire in June. The decision appears to have been triggered by supporter backlash following jeers directed at him during a recent match at home. This represents yet another disappointing chapter in a career that has failed to live up to expectations since Klopp's prophetic words just before his Barcelona switch in early 2018. The German manager cautioned, "Stay here, Liverpool, and they will end up building a statue in your honor. Go somewhere else, to Barcelona, to Bayern Munich, to Real Madrid, and you will be just another player. Here you can be something more." Slot has come to the defense of ex-Liverpool set-piece coach Briggs. Liverpool parted company with Briggs in December after the club conceded 13 goals from set-pieces in 26 matches. During that period, the Reds only netted 8 times from dead ball situations. Liverpool has let in only 2 set-piece goals and netted 8 in the 12 matches since Briggs departed. Slot was questioned on Thursday about the team's strategy for set-pieces, but he argued it was inappropriate to lay all the blame on Briggs. "I'm happy that you asked that question because it would be very unfair to Aaron, who was only partly responsible for that, because in the end, I'm responsible for everything," he said. "In the end, it's always my responsibility. But we were, in that period of time, so unlucky. We all knew that it couldn't go on like that, because we hardly gave away a chance in set pieces, but every goal went in, and we created multiple opportunities to score, and the ball didn't go in. So that things go back to normal now is something which we expected. Aaron had an analyst, and the two of them were mainly responsible for it. In the end, I'm responsible, but they did the work. That hasn't changed. So Lewis Mahoney, first-team set-piece analyst, does the main work, and then we have a meeting together, and we look at the last details. But in general, we didn't change that much. We maybe made 1 or 2 slight changes, but we didn't change much. What changed is things went back to normal, because in the Champions League, when Aaron was with us, we were already very good. I think we were number 1 in set pieces. I would mainly say things went back to normal and we've adjusted 1 or 2 small things." Man City 115 charges latest as former Liverpool chief hints at what is coming. Manchester City awaits the verdict on 115 Premier League charges with potential points deduction, as former Liverpool executive Christian Purslow warns of the likely consequences. Manchester City and fellow Premier League clubs, including Liverpool, may face another year of uncertainty as they await the outcome of the 115 charges brought against the club. Ex-Aston Villa and Chelsea executive Christian Purslow, who is also a former managing director of Liverpool, believes there's still considerable time before a decision emerges, though he suggests a points deduction could be among the sanctions. The legal battle between City and the Premier League remains unresolved despite the independent hearing having wrapped up. The Manchester club is accused of allegedly breaching financial rules spanning 2009 to 2018. City denies all the allegations made against it. City is facing up to 130 possible violations despite commonly being referred to as 115 charges. During the period from 2009 to 2018, the club secured 3 Premier League titles. While proceedings have already been lengthy, Purslow doesn't anticipate a quick conclusion. Speaking on The Football Boardroom, co-hosted by journalist Henry Winter, he remarked, "This first panel has shown that predicting timetables is a fool's errand. In the scenario that there are any guilty findings, and in that scenario, Manchester City choose perfectly reasonably to appeal under Premier League appeal rules that will move forward, and that could be another 3, 6, 9, or 12 months at least. Crucially, at the same moment they are reviewing the decision, even in the scenario of any guilty findings, then the question of sanctioning would most likely be pushed down the road. Purslow has also made it clear that any possible penalty or resolution won't be simple. I don't think these matters get resolved by the way that the APT, Associated Party Transaction, case did, in an out-of-court settlement between the Premier League and Manchester City, he stated. I want to be really clear on that. I think it would be a terrible mistake for the Premier League to be tempted. Both sides think, you know what, let's just reach an agreement for a reasonable sanction, a reasonable settlement, and move on. I think that would be a terrible mistake. It would be impossible to keep everybody happy. The smart decision is, if I'm the chairman of the Premier League, let's leave it to the lawyers. Let's leave it to the process, which everybody signed up to. My point is a simple one. When this is left to the judges, however frustrating it is that it takes so long, it will be in the land of precedent. The precedent is sporting sanction. The sporting sanction is likely to be major points deductions, which ultimately could translate into relegation.